It's got to be real.
Be real. Be real.
Yes, guys, what's up? So, Danny Garcia versus Paulie Malignaggi. For me, I think this is a tremendous matchup. I'm just going to start it off like this. I'm going to say this. Look, I've done a few videos on this. I've talked about Paulie's benefits. I've talked about Danny Garcia's benefits. I've kind of... I've not picked anyone as of yet, I don't think. So I'm going to make my final God honest prediction right now. And look, I'm going to say off the bat, I think Danny Garcia wins this fight. However, let me just cast your minds back a little while to just shortly after the Mauricio Herrera fight. Before the Herrera fight, in fact, I kept saying that a matchup that needs to be made in boxing is Danny Swift Garcia and Lamont Peterson. Now, for me, Lamont Peterson won that fight. But you know what it is? I'm not one of them people who's going to cry and say... You know, like you get people on in the YouTube boxing community, on Twitter, on social media, and they come and they say, Canelo lost against Lara. No, he did not lose against Lara. Maybe in your books he lost against Lara, but Lara didn't get the decision, and you have to be able to accept, whether it's a bogus decision or not, you have to be able to accept that decision. You have to, just have to. There's some extreme cases where the whole boxing community kind of agrees that, you know, someone got robbed. Then you can kind of, you know, then you go with it. But apart from them few situations where it's a clear robbery, you have to go with what the judges give. Now, a lot of people felt Peterson won, a lot of people felt Danny Garcia won. I felt Peterson won that fight, but I'm not going to sit here crying and say like, oh, Peterson got robbed and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, look, Danny Garcia won that fight. Danny Garcia beat Mauricio Herrera. Because for me, when I saw the Herrera fight, now the majority of the boxing world felt Herrera won the fight. But for me, I felt that Danny Garcia lost the war, but he won the battle, if that makes sense. Like, no, lost the battle, won the war. Because I felt that Danny Garcia won more rounds than Mauricio Herrera. But the rounds that Mauricio Herrera won, he banged Danny Garcia out in. But I felt maybe he only won 5 rounds very convincingly, whereas Danny Garcia scraped 7. So, you know, point by point system, I give that fight to Danny Garcia. Now, Danny Garcia is fighting Paulie Malignaggi, and let's just say this, Danny Garcia has struggled several times in the past. He struggled firstly against Amir Khan, he got outboxed clean, and then he knocked Amir Khan out. He faced Mauricio Herrera, and many people felt he lost that fight, but he struggled, let's just say. He faced Lamont Peterson. Several people, including myself, felt that he lost that fight. But he got the decision. But the point is, he struggled. So what are we seeing? We're seeing that if you box and you move against Danny Garcia, he's going to have trouble. If you're able to land them quick punches, some straight punches on him, and you're able to, you know, just be fast, just be quick on him, he's going to struggle because his footwork's a little bit slow. He's a little bit slow to get off his Danny. He punches with people. If you've got a good chin, Paulie Malignaggi's got a solid chin, right? So why am I going for Danny Garcia in this fight? The reason I'm going for Danny Swift is because I feel that Danny Swift doesn't get enough credit. I think Zab Judah, correct me if I'm wrong, was a mover, but he struggled against Zab Judah as well, didn't he? But the point is not about struggling, it's about winning. And Danny Garcia has won consecutively. He's an undefeated fighter. And whether you agree with this or not, it doesn't matter. On the scorecards, like I've already explained, you've got to accept he's an undefeated fighter. Got to accept it. Danny Garcia has beaten some good fighters. Kendall Holt, Amir Khan, Peterson, he was competitive. Herrera, he was competitive. Win or lose, you know what I mean? So, for me, Paulie Malignaggi, can he do what Lamont Peterson did? I don't think so. I'm going to tell you why. Because no disrespect to Paulie, he's an excellent, brilliant fighter. And if people think that he's going to win, I understand where you're coming from. I totally get it. I'm not going to say that I am really confident Danny Garcia wins, but I'm siding with Danny. I'm siding with Danny because I don't think that Paulie Malignaggi has the power to hurt Danny, to keep Danny off him. I think Danny Garcia's like kind of realised his vulnerabilities in the ring, and he's been working on it. He's been chasing chickens around the ring. You know, whether that works or not, I don't know, but he's clearly been working on it. So the thing is this, right? He's been working on it. Paulie Malignaggi understands the weaknesses of Danny Garcia and he's going to try to exploit them. So Paulie Malignaggi is kind of on a bit of an up here. But the problem is he got knocked out by Sean Porter pretty viciously in his last fight. How much of a mental game could that be playing on Paulie Malignaggi? I don't know. You see, so it's going to be really interesting to see how Danny Garcia fights Paulie, because Danny Garcia, right? I kind of think I know what he's going to do. It's not going to be, because in boxing, right, people think that there's one extreme and there's another extreme. No, Danny Garcia can box. He moves on a little bit of the back foot. He sometimes comes on the front foot. And he watches out for the punches. He times. He does several things. He's a boxer. You know what I mean? He's a versatile fighter. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but you know what I mean. He can do different things in the ring. Paulie doesn't have, in my opinion, the pop to hurt Danny, and I think that's where the fight's gonna fall into Danny Garcia's hands eventually. I think Danny Garcia has beaten Kendall Holt. He's beaten Zab Judah. Knocked out Amir Khan. He gets the job done. He's made it competitive against really good fighters. Even Mauricio Herrera is a solid fighter. And people are looking too much into this fight that he cherry-picked against Rod Salka. But, I mean, he knocked Rod Salka the shit out. You know what I mean? Like, you can't... Boxing-wise, you can't take anything away from that fight. It was a cherry-pick and he knocked him the hell out. He did what he's supposed to do. I did it in style. But, look, man, my thing's this, right? I think that Danny Garcia will be able to win this fight because I think 147 pounds, when you've got that amount of weight on you, the weight class is going to be a bit slower anyway. It's not going to be, you know, people aren't as fast as they are at 140. Like, I don't think Paulie's got the footwork, and I don't think he's got youth on his side. I don't think he's got the power. I don't even know if he's got the chin anymore, because once you get hit by Sean Porter and you get knocked out like that viciously and you've had loads of wars in the ring, we don't know how Paulie's going to look. Paulie could win this fight on the basis that he could just outbox Danny Garcia, move in and out, use his feet, use his expert boxing. Well, Paulie's a really good boxer, and just outpoint Danny Garcia. It's a winnable fight for Paulie. It's not. This, in my opinion, is an excellent fight. I think it's a brilliant fight. I was saying for ages, Peterson versus Garcia is a brilliant fight. People thought, yeah, what's the point? I told you it's a good fight, and it was a brilliant fight. I always said Peterson would be the guy to beat Danny Garcia. In my books, he won. But obviously, I'm going to say that because I picked him, but still, I felt he won that fight. I don't think Danny Garcia won, but like I said, you've got to accept it for it is. The point is, I think Danny Garcia is young. I think he's hungry. I think he's going to be ready. I think he's recognised his flaws, and he's going to definitely try his best. He's not going to be inactive. I don't think Paulie Malignaggi's got the power to hurt him. And I just think Danny Garcia is going to really come forward, learn to cut off the ring. He's going to come forward, press the action on Paulie. Paulie's going to definitely move, but I think, let's see how Paulie's legs look. But I just see Danny Garcia winning one way or another. I just see him finding a way to win. And I think he will win. I think he's young. I think he's going to have the work rate. I think 147 pounds, he might look better, he might not. I'm not too keen on strength and conditioning he's been doing. He's been doing a lot of shoulder exercise, a lot of like bodybuilding training. Like in boxing, when you're moving up a weight class, you need to build your legs, you need to build your core, your lower back, that sort of stuff. But who knows, maybe if he builds that stuff, he might become even slower in his feet. So, you know, it's let's just see. I don't know what his natural weight is. Nobody knows what his real natural weight is. What is, you know, the different weights of what's walking around weight, his in-ring weight, how much he struggles, how much he cuts off. You know, it's difficult to really gauge that accurate number. But Danny Garcia is a big lad. He's not small. And I think, again, it's time he moved up to 147 pounds, and let's see how he mixes it with the big boys after this fight. If Paulie wins, you know, I like to see Paulie back in the 147 pound mix. Personally, I'm a huge Paulie Malignaggi fan. Danny Garcia, I'm a huge Danny Swift fan as well. Like, I know he's had a few cherry picks, and I'm not a fan of them, but as a boxer, as a fighter, and you know, like a friend of mine went into their camp in Philly, and he said that Angel Garcia, like, contrary to popular belief, that Angel Garcia is a racist, and you know, like, people say a lot of negativity, and I get why, because in the videos he said a certain few things, and you know, it comes across really bad. But I think, you know, from what I heard, he's a really lovely, down to earth guy, and you know what I'm saying, like, off camera, on camera are two different things, and I don't think you can mix the two personalities. And I don't know. I'm a Danny Garcia fan. I'm an Angel fan. Am I an Angel fan? I don't know Angel. I don't even know Danny. I don't know any of these people. I'm a Danny Garcia fan, and I'm definitely a fan of Paulie Malignaggi, and I'm a huge fan of this fight. I think it's a tremendous matchup. I'm going for Danny Garcia in this fight. Let me know what you guys think. Comment in the section below. Make sure you subscribe as always. Danny Swift Garcia. Do you think his footwork is going to be too slow for Paulie Malignaggi? Do you think the knockout loss against Sean Porter is going to play a significant impact in this fight? Do you think Paulie Malignaggi got the power to hurt Danny Garcia, keep Danny Garcia off him, who's a young, hungry lion? Do you think Danny Garcia is going to have the boxing capability to keep up with Paulie Malignaggi's fast combination punching? Because Paulie Malignaggi, he does like to throw a bit of a bam, 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 you know, bam, 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 a 3-4 punch combination. Paulie can let them off. If Danny Garcia catches him in between at 147 pounds, how's Paulie going to react? Let's see. Let's take a look. See, Danny Garcia is no Senchenko. comment section below, subscribe as always. In a bit, guys.